going to take a short look at polishing. The three main stages of polishing are cutting, which is usually done with, well, usually done by myself with microfiber pads. These are old ones. They've still got a bit of life in them, but for the purpose of what we're using this car for, I'm just going to use the old ones. So we've got that is a cutting microfiber, and I believe that's a finishing. The difference between them is this one's got a slightly harder foam, this one's got quite a soft foam, and these go on a DA, which I haven't currently got, but they go on essentially the little version of this. This is the big pad for the polishing that I usually use, which is a Roots Yellow, and then the Roots Yellow again. This one's for the smaller version of this. The refining, again the smaller version, and the larger version which goes on this. So we're going to be working on the bonnet. We've not currently got the little version with us because I lent it out to someone because I didn't know that I'd be using it for this video, but we are going to swap to rotary. A little bit old school. This is what a lot of people would refer to as a mop, or a lot of people would use, they refer to machine polishing as mopping. So when rotary is involved, there's a few different things to think about, from getting your bum comfy on your bucket seat. Backing pads. So we're going to be using the smaller backing pads because we are using the rotary instead of a Roots DA for the edges up into the corners, and just general smaller areas where a pad like this would just be a little bit daft. So up here in the corner of the bonnet comes to a triangular shape like that. That pad's just not going to go without contacting over all the edges. Obviously normally we won't be laying stuff out on the bonnet, but it's a test car. So this is a 3M green. I've got 3M yellows around somewhere, but I can't seem to find them. So we're going to stick with this. Dropped it. We're going to stick with this one for now because this is what we have to hand until I've dug out the 3M yellows. So backing pad wise, we've got a solid back. This isn't even a solid one. A solid one would literally be solid plastic. So we've got hard, medium, and a soft. Now the reason for that is different contours and different areas of your car will allow the pad to flex slightly. So if you've got this one on, you can have quite a lot of motion in the top there, which will give a more even pressure or a more natural pressure on a curve. Whereas if you've got this one on the pad and it's working, you've got hardly any movement at all before the pad starts getting heavier on this side, lighter on this side, heavier on this side, lighter on this side. I dropped it again, stop dropping it. So this again is the softest one. So it's obviously got heavier on this side and lighter on this side. There's a hell of a lot more movement in that before it starts affecting how the pad works. I'll stick that one on for now because we're only using it for edge work. And stick that one there, that one there. these are the cutting pads. We have used these on rotary before, but they tend to be quite powerful, and it's not really my preferred thing to use because I find that they clog up quite a lot on the rotary. Stick all that up there, and we'll get going with the polishing. So as you can see, here's the before. There's some deeper scratches in there. So this one here that you can see in just the normal rim light. There's a few more deeper ones in there. You can see there, kind of just where somebody's dragged something across the bonnet. There, and then the scratches stop there, and they start again there. So something's come across at a bit of speed, kind of left the panel and then rejoined the panel. Done it like that. So that's the before of this panel. That side we're not going to do the whole car. Let's take straight up the middle. Again, stuff doesn't go on the windscreen when it's a normal customer's car, but this one's pretty much going for scrap afterwards. Bit too much polish on that. Dab a bit off. I've got to spread it all all over the pad, so that any of the pad that touches the paint also has polish on it. What we've created here is essentially a step down panel. So this is untouched, unclay barred, anything, literally just a wash. We've not even dried it very well. So that is what it was like before. This here is after the cutting stage. You can see there's sort of a slight haziness to the paintwork there, and if you come across again, we've polished this. It's a little bit smeary at the moment, a few deep scratches, but for the process of what we're trying to achieve right now, that's to a satisfactory standard. That's the refined section. That would essentially be ready for coating. So that's cut, polished and refined. This section here is cut. We're back on the Golf today. Again, I believe this is still going to be part of the same video. We've got our little polisher back. So now instead of using the rotary for the edges, we'll be able to use this. Just going to prime this pad by covering it in compound. Making sure that there's no dry areas on it, and there's a nice even spread on it. That should do. Now it seems a little bit counterintuitive, but Nice little blowout. That's ready to go. So the bits that we use this little polisher for are bits like this. This bend in the panel down to here. We kind of tried to get in there with the larger one, but there's still some areas that it's just not getting that well. So this has been cut. I'm going to go over this area here again, because now that we've got the smaller polisher back, we'll be able to get into that curve better. Is ideal for this smaller area here, where the large one would just be way too big. It's also pretty good for the lights, because you'll be able to get right down into this corner without having a massive overhang on your pad. This is a refining pad that I've got in here at the moment, so it will be microfiber cut, polish, and then refine for that light with the small groups, and then little areas like this we may go for an even smaller polisher to get right into that groove there. And these are all the little bits that kind of take time, that are included in the detail. It's getting right up into this gap here. So if we just stick the light on that, you can see that there is, it focuses, a little line. It's not quite gone between the plastic panel and the metal panel. Hold up. We need some tape up under here before we start. That's the work of the little groups polisher. So you can see there's quite a lot of hazing on there, which is expected. You're essentially removing the paint, and by removing the paint you are going to have to damage it in some This panel here has now been cut, polished and refined. All the way down here, cut across the arch. There's a few little deeper bits. That one straight up isn't coming out at all because that's actually through the lacquer. There are some deeper ones on there, but this car has 110,000 miles on it. And that our class is I'll probably say over a 95% defect removal, considering that's the before. And those scratches there definitely aren't coming out. There's a little bit of polish smear there. We'll sort that later.